everyone, my name is Marian Guevara. A huge hello and a huge thank you to anyone who is just clicking on this video or checking out the channel, whether you are a new or an old subscriber. Thank you very much. Today I'll be doing the mid-year freakout book tag, a tag that I try to keep up with every year. I typically aim to do this video either in May or June, and luckily I have one day, one free day to film this, so lucky me. So I'm gonna try to make this quick because it's very hot, so I don't want to be sweating in front of you guys. So I love doing the mid-year freakout book tag because it offers a great opportunity to kind of check in on my reading, let you guys know how my reading has been going on for the first half of the year. So there are a total of 12 questions, and yeah, let's just get started. The first question is the best book you've read so far, and that would be Outer Dark by Cormac McCarthy. I'm not gonna go too in depth on what I thought about this book, mainly because I dedicated an entire video talking about Outer Dark, giving my general thoughts along with a more spoilery discussion. So if you're interested in knowing more about what I thought, please feel free to check out that video. But yeah, I really enjoyed Outer Dark despite it being quite dark. This is my first 5-star of 2026. I was actually getting worried because months were passing and I was reading a lot of 4 stars, but I hadn't found a 5-star until I got to this book right here. I actually read a Cormac McCarthy before, years ago. It was No Country for Old Men, and I found it to be just fine. I liked it, but I didn't really love it. I came to realize that Outer Dark is definitely more to my taste than No Country for Old Men in terms of prose, in terms of setting, in terms of tone. I really like the fairy tale, fable-like atmosphere to this book. And I think another major reason why this appealed to me so much is that it reminded me a lot of Flannery O'Connor's work. And if you have been following this channel for a bit, you would know that she is one of my favorite authors. But yeah, Outer Dark, I think, is very much an unsung Cormac McCarthy, and a lot of people should check it out more. Number 2 is the best sequel that you've read so far, and I haven't been reading any sequels as of late. It's been mainly standalones. The only title or titles that would actually qualify for this question, I guess, would be volumes 2 to 5 of Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, a story and art by Janushi. This is my latest obsession. I love this. This is what has been occupying my time recently. Oh my god, it's so good. You're going to be seeing this series pop up in other questions for this tag. I'm just gonna let you know right away. This is a new favorite series. I've been very lucky that over the past years, I've been discovering a new favorite series. So 2023, it was The Books of Babel. 2024, Garden Gas. 2025, it was City Watch. And now 2026, to my surprise, it is Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. This slice of life manga. Just fantastic. I'm an addict. I'm an absolute addict for this series. Number 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet but want to, and for me, that is Daughter of Crows by Mark Lawrence. Now, I adored his previous trilogy, the Library trilogy, and so when I found out that he was coming out with a new trilogy, I thought I'd give the first book a go. So this is the first book in the Academy of Kindness series. So reading the synopsis, this definitely feels more of your standard fare grimdark fantasy, where you're following assassins and then seeing how they're being trained in this academy. Now, I'm going to be frank with you. The premise alone doesn't really interest me. I don't really care for assassins or even school settings. I had my fill with fantasy school settings with Harry Potter and all that, but I'm sure this is going to be very different. However, I'm willing to give this one a try because, like I said, really enjoyed the Library trilogy, and yeah, want to see if this was up my alley. I've also heard really good things about Daughter of Crows, so definitely want to give this a shot. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and like many people, I am looking forward to Trade of Blood by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is going to be the newest entry into the Anna and Din mystery series, the Shadow of the Leviathan series. It's unclear what the name, in fact, is, but anyway, love this series. It's one of my favorites, and it has not disappointed. Both Tainted Cup and Drop of Corruption have appeared on, favorite books of the year lists, and I fully expect Trade of Blood to do the same for 2026. Now, another book that I was also looking forward to in 2026 unfortunately got pushed to 2027, but I'll still mention it, and that is Kingdom of the Conqueror Worm by Nathan Balladgrud. This is the 3rd and final book in the Lunar Gothic trilogy, and yeah, this one was a great surprise. I really enjoy this trilogy. it has this gothic tone, but it also has like body, cosmic horror. Really, really dig it. But yeah, I'll have to wait for 2027 for that one. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment, and I have to give that to The Invention of Morel by Adolfo Bioy Casares. Now, I'm in the minority. The majority of people seem to really love this book, and to be fair, I really enjoyed the ending and what it was aiming for. It's just that the 60-ish pages to get there, I just wasn't a fan of, and I think a large part of that is due to the translation by Ruth L.C. Sims. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this translation. Maybe if I read a different translation, I would enjoy this book better, but I don't know. Reading it, especially towards the beginning and the middle, reminded me of reading Hemingway, and I found just the prose to be a bit flat and a tad stilted at times, so I just wasn't really loving it. And I was expecting to adore this book, especially when it's making allusions in the back here to Turn of the Screw and Philip K. Dick, and I can see why they're doing that. It's just that the journey to get to the ending was not my fave. In fact, I would be reading this on the metro. I read this on the metro like 2 different times. And as I was getting like in the beginning, in the middle, I could feel my mind kind of wandering off, getting distracted, because like the prose just was not pulling me in at all. So yeah, unfortunately this didn't work out for me, but by all means, not a bad book whatsoever. As I mentioned, I'm in the minority when it comes to The Invention of Morel. Number 6 is Biggest Surprise, and I warned you, you're going to be seeing this series quite a bit, throughout this tag, but it's got to go to Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You by Jinushi. Now, I've mentioned in the past that I'm just not a fan of contemporary fiction, or rather the contemporary setting. I'd rather read a story that takes place in a fantasy world, or in the past, or in the future. If I am reading or even like watching a story that takes place during our times, I'd rather just let it be horror. I don't know why I have such an aversion to the contemporary setting, mainly because, I don't know, maybe I'm living it each and every day, so I don't want to be reading about it. This aversion is also the reason why I'm having a hard time starting, like, for instance, like Emily Henry, and I know Evie really loves it. She's been praising her. I know a lot of people in Alan's Discord. I know Alan himself has been reading and enjoying Emily Henry, but I just can't bring myself to do it because just like, I don't know, the setting is just not appealing to me. However, I watched the trailer for the anime adaptation for the series, and I'm not gonna lie, it intrigued me. So I thought, you know what? It's been a while. I haven't really tried a manga series in years, so I picked up volumes 1 and 2 of Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, seeing if I liked it, and oh my god, this manga series has made me eat crow. I have eaten crow. This is so good. So for the premise of this series, we're following Sasaki, who is this Japanese salaryman who works this very grueling, soul-sucking corporate job, and the only solace that he has in his life is going to his local supermarket to see his favorite cashier at Register 2 named Yamada. And when he sees Yamada's smile, her cheerful attitude, the way that she works hard at her job, it basically energizes him, re-energizes him, and inspires him to kind of push through to the next day. So one night he is kept back at work because of a meeting, and when he goes to the supermarket, he sees that Yamada is not there anymore. Apparently she has clocked out. So when he leaves, he's trying to find a place to smoke, and he sees that a woman calls over to him to smoke with her behind the supermarket, and her name is Tayama, and she's apparently another worker at this supermarket. And so it's basically about these two smoking behind the supermarket, becoming smoking buddies, and then just talking about their life. And not only are they striking up a friendship, but you notice that feelings slowly start to simmer between the two of them. I was so surprised with how much I became invested in these characters, in this story, because on paper, this really shouldn't work for me. I mean, it's just 2 people smoking and then talking about their lives. Sasaki will rant about his boss, Tayama will talk about a customer, and normally that just wouldn't work for me. But I think Jinushi does a great job of portraying these characters. You see how they're very different in terms of personality. Sasaki is older, he's much more shy, more dense. You have Tayama younger, cool as a cucumber, flirty. They're very different, but Janushi really sells the relationship. You see a very sincere friendship form between the two of them. You see how they come to care, to genuinely care for one another, and you have this very solid foundation for a romance that could potentially develop in the future. I'm going to devote an entire video to this, but it's safe to say that this is a favorite series of mine. And dang it, I really, really need to get to the 6th volume. I am literally fighting the urge right now to get onto Amazon and just ordering that 6th volume. It's just, oh, it's driving me nuts. So yeah, love, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with you. So, and if you're interested, you should definitely check out the anime trailer, because that's what got me into this series. Number 7 is favorite new author, whether it's a debut or a new author to you. And I've only read one book from this author, and yet I got a feeling that she's going to be a new favorite. And that is Lois McMaster Bujold. I read The Curse of Chalion by her recently. Loved it. Talk about a book where no chapter at all feels superfluous. Incredibly impressed with Curse of Chalion, and I've already picked up Paladin of Souls by her. I'm already eyeing the Penric series by her. So yeah, I got an inkling that she is going to be a favorite, and you're going to see more of her works on this channel down the road. So number 8 is newest fictional crush, and I'm not ashamed of this question. I'm going to have to give it to Sasaki from Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. I know, he's such a bean, so precious. People describe him or liken him to a golden retriever or a Labrador retriever. So sweet and dense he can be, and he's such a gentleman, and it's so fun when Tayama flirts with him and he just gets so flustered. I'll show you a bit of panel. So yeah, he's adorable. So yeah, definitely number 8 definitely goes to Sasaki. Number 9 is newest favorite character, and I'm going to be giving that to Kazriel from The Curse of Chalion by Lois McMaster Bujold. Kazriel is a man who is coming back from war. He's not broken, but he's definitely beaten. He's trying to return to the estate that he grew up in, looking for a place to sort of just rest his head after enduring so much hardship and horrors. And while he's there, he becomes tasked to become the tutor of the sister of the man who's going to inherit Chalion. And what I really enjoyed about this character, I think Bujold did a fantastic job of giving him vulnerability. This is a man who has suffered and continues to suffer, but then he's someone that you can definitely depend on and lean on. He has a noble heart, someone who is willing to kind of lay down his life and to sacrifice himself for the ones he loves. I just adore Kazriel, and yeah, he's major reason why Curse of Chalion was just such a huge success for me. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and no book has made me cry this year. However, I will give this one to The Garden by Nick Newman. This is a post-apocalyptic novel following 2 elderly sisters who lived in this walled-in estate for the majority of their lives. They basically spend the time, tending the gardens, tending the fields, all of that, following the rules that their mother had written down and laid out for them years ago. And so they basically live in ignorance, not knowing exactly what is beyond their walls, until one day something or someone breaks through. And now they have to confront, what actually is waiting for them outside, and also confront some possible lies that their mother had told them. This one is sad in the same way a Kazuo Ishiguro novel is sad, in a very quiet way. You basically have these 2 elderly women slowly come to realize that they could have lived different lives, potentially happier lives, but the choice to have them were basically taken away at a very young age. And not only that, not only do they come to this realization, they have to acknowledge the fact that they can't do anything about it. It's far too late to do anything about it. So yeah, it's actually a pretty dark and depressing read, but done in a very, as I mentioned, quiet way. I was very impressed with The Garden by Nick Newman. I definitely want to read more from him. And if you haven't checked out The Garden, I would recommend that you do so. So number 11 is a book that made you happy. Obviously, I'm going to be choosing Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. This was a no-brainer from this prompt because this is probably like the only happy story I've read so far in the year. I typically read either scary or sad books. That's just how it is. But yeah, this series has got me giggling and kicking my feet. It's just, like I said, it's so good. Number 12 is the most beautiful book that you bought or received this year, and I love to cheat on this question, so I'm going to be doing that. The first book that I have here to show you is this modern or Bloomsbury Modern Classic Edition of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. When I found out that this book existed, I knew I needed it because this edition is absolutely gorgeous. I just love how different it looks from other covers of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And I'm not ashamed to own several copies because this is one of my favorite books. Definitely one of my favorite fantasy books of all time. And yeah, I just love the orange, the reds, and it's depicting a scene actually from the book towards the end that I really like. So yeah, fantastic. I got this one off of A-Books. So if you're looking for certain editions, particularly British editions of classics, I would definitely recommend A-Books. I got some really good deals. I got all the Penguin English Library out of print Thomas Hardy's from A-Books, so I definitely recommend that you check out that website. Another book for this prompt is the fourth and final volume of the collected fiction of H.P. Lovecraft that was published by Corruptora Press. So this is all of Lovecraft's collaborative works. Just absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to be gentle when I handle this book because, like I said, I mentioned in other videos that the dust jacket feels so fragile. But oh my lord, look at that. Look at that naked hardcover. And then Karamazov has also done the illustrations on the inside as well. Just gorgeous, gorgeous book. So happy to have the entire collected fiction of H.P. Lovecraft. This is considered to be the definitive version of H.P. Lovecraft's work. So I'm thrilled just to have it. And the last book for this question is pretty random, but it's Castles by Alan Lee, written by David Day. And this is a book all about castles. So I'll just show you just some illustrations, just beautiful stuff. And I wanted this in particular because it includes an illustration of Gormenghast Castle. Look at that. So good. But yeah, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. And similar to that edition of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, I picked this one up for a great deal on A-Books. And for the 13th and final question, we have books you need to read by the end of the year. I only did 2 because I'm gonna be honest, I'm very busy this year. So I don't want to kind of overpromise. So I definitely want to get to Paladin of Souls by Lois McMaster Bujold. This is, I wouldn't say like a direct sequel to The Curse of Chalion, but it is following a character that is introduced in The Curse of Chalion. So I guess it is kind of like a follow-up. So definitely want to get to this one. And I definitely want to get to Discovery by J.A.J. Minton. I actually started reading this one, but then I'm such a horrid mood reader that I had to stop. So I'm definitely going to get back to this for sure. I'm going to read Discovery this year. Okay, I love me some cosmic horror. So that was another mid-year freak out book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know how has your reading been going this year. Mine's been slower than I would have liked, but understandable since I've been quite busy in my studies. So please let me know down below what you've been reading so far. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!